So one of the most impactful and pervasive trends that we've witnessed in our research over the past few years is this convenience and on-the-go wave that's been gripping the consumer public. And this is primarily driven from the growing urbanization rates we're seeing around the world. Now, the urban population globally has expanded by 11.2% between 2010 and 2015. What's interesting is if you look at it for the Middle East and North Africa, the same metric has actually been 13.2% growth between 2010 and 2015. One sector, interestingly, that has both capitalized and benefited from this trend, from all these trends, be it urbanization or the on-the-go culture and convenience seeking, is transport, the transport sector, specifically private transport and mass transport. If we look at some of these metrics that we have for the transport sector, specifically for our region, you can zoom in to these certain cities that are crucial to the populations of the Gulf. Like if we use Dubai or Doha, for example, Dubai's population has been expanding by 2% on average per year between 2010 and 2015. Passenger cars in use, however, have been going up by 7.9% per year. The disparity is significant. If you look at Doha, Doha has been expanding a little bit faster in terms of population over the past 5 years, 5.6% on average per year. Passenger cars, however, have been going up by 8.4%. So this disparity essentially means that there are more cars on the road and they're growing faster than people. Now what happens is you have a certain congestion that takes place and consumers will look for other alternatives rather than, these passenger cars. So they'll look at public transport. Public transport in Dubai, for example, rides on public transport have expanded by 27% approximately per year over the past few years. Now, the infrastructure can't keep up with that kind of expansion, unfortunately. So consumers who have a little bit more income or are willing to spend a little bit more income look to another service, conventionally known as the taxi. Now, one player or one group of players that have capitalized on this collision of trends, convenience, urbanization, innovation, and just the need for centralizing everything with technology, making it easy to grasp and to reach, have come into the market and offered consumers a new way to get from point A to point B that really taps them into the whole process. We are referring to, of course, to ride-hailing services. Now, some of the more popular apps in the region include Uber, Careem, and others. Why are ride-hailing apps good for the transport sector, even in face of rising competition from traditional taxis or other modes of transportation that have been there for a while? They're good because they incite competition. They incite innovation. They promote this partnership between something public like transport and private companies like these other ride-hailing apps we mentioned, Careem, Uber. What they do is they encourage a sort of transaction between the two to just make the market better for consumers and make it more efficient for these producers. So one example as to how this has really benefited the market and economies. Toyota recently invested an undisclosed amount in Uber because sources state that it sees Uber and these ride-hailing apps as the future of transport. And there's no reason to say that these are not the future of transport or that they'll crowd out any other mode, but they will make the transport sector better, the market for these services better, and by translation, the economy will grow accordingly.